session for you guys so you can watch it later on. You are watching today's webinar, which is on easy road design for county engineers. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. You are muted. If you want to ask questions, you can ask them. There is a question panel there that you can ask questions if you have any questions about the webinar as we go on. If you want to watch it again, like I said, this webinar is going to be recorded, and it will be posted on our YouTube page. Future webinars. June 7th, we are doing one working with coordinate systems and survey data. And then June 22nd, using Softtree Optimal with Civil 3D designs. And then July 12th, we are using terrain tools for site design. Let's get started with this demo. Okay, so I'm going to start by importing a county road in our terrain tools software. I've created an import specification for a county road. I'm not going to go through the details of how I created it, but the northing is in the first column, easting is in the second column, elevation is the third column, and there's a code in the fourth column, and it's a comma delimited file. Let's just open up the file, get onto the nitty-gritty of the demo. So open up the new county road design ASCII file. This is an imperial design, so for people that are doing designs in Canada or the rest of the world, you can use metric designs. That's not stopping you. It's just this happens to be an imperial county road or an English county road. Next step is to generate my tin contours. I'm going to do contours of 1 foot spacing for minors and 5 foot spacing for majors. And increase the triangle length so that I can catch all my triangles. I'm going to redesign this road to 40 mile per hour specifications. So again, just in case you need to ask a question, there is a questions panel that you can ask a question if you prefer to do so. I'm going to start my design right here. Just select that point. Save this file. I'm going to save it as County Road, May 23rd, 2018. Save. And then go over to my location design module. Open up that new county road. Browse. Start at that current point that I selected. I'm going to open up a set of templates. I'm going to use this low volume. I'm going to use the training normal feet template. So it's going to be this simple county road here with pavement shoulders and 2 layers below the pavement, ditches, cut and fill slopes. I'm not going to belabor the point about templates, but you can create templates that have 2-sided templates. Each road is made up of, each template is made up of a number of components. In this case, we got 2 for the road surface, left and right, 2 for the ditch, left and right, 2 for the cut and fill slopes, left and right. You don't have to have 6 components. You could have less. If you don't have any ditches, you can eliminate the ditches. You can just have road and slopes if you want to. Let's go on with the design. Like I said, I don't want to belabor the point of templates. I want to get on with the design. Retrieve a screen layout for horizontal alignment. So these screen layout files set up your screen to do specific tasks. Okay. I'm going to extend my ground out a little bit more just because I might have problems in certain areas like this. And the way you do that is you go back to Setup, Location Setup, Alignment tab, Extend Ground. I'm going to extend it out about 50 feet. And then I can start my design. Right click, Edit IP tool. Left click once. Left click again to tie it down. So I'm just going to follow these points over here. Go up here. Left click. Left click. Go over here and attach to the existing road again. Like I said, I'm going to design this to 40 miles per hour, so I'm going to jump back using these buttons twice. So I'm on the second IP over here. I'm not going to design a spiral curve. I'm going to design a circular curve, 40 miles per hour. If I get this message, that means that I have to move my one of my IPs away. Let me just move the first IP. Get my default. Set that as my new default. Apply. Okay, so I've got a 40 mile per hour road. That's going to give me a 600-foot radius. Set that as my default. Jump forward. Get my default. Apply. It's also going to give me 6% super on my roads. On to vertical design. Get a screen layout for vertical design. Training profile will do. First of all, let me put in my curves. I'm going to move this first IP all the way back to station 0. Make sure that my station is still at 0. No, it's at -24 because I changed it. Change my start station to 0. You can change it to whatever you want. Left click once. I'm trying to get rid of some of this waste that I have going on here. You can see there's a whole bunch of waste we're dealing with because we're sitting just on top of the ground for most of the design except for this first section. Get rid of some of that waste by putting in vertical alignment. See, it's slowly disappearing. Change my, double click on my mass haul diagram. Show you what these colors mean. Free haul is green. Overhaul is yellow. You don't see very much of green and yellow except for a little bit of green here. Borrow is blue. You don't see any borrow at all. And waste is obviously red. I'm going to change my free haul and I can keep my free haul and my overhaul distance at 250 feet and 1,500 feet. Just try to balance this out a bit more. Get rid of some of this. I don't think I need this IP at all. I'm going to delete it. And then come up here. Left click. Left click. You can see it balancing quite nicely, right away. Left click. Left click. Left click. Now I got a little bit too much borrow, so I'm going to pull down a bit more. Get rid of that borrow. put in my vertical curves once I'm done with this. Attach to the end. Pull this IP down a little bit more so I can get rid of some of that borrow. I've got about, by the end of the design, I've got about 2,489 cubic yards of waste, but I can do better than that, I think. Just pull up a bit more. Try to get rid of some of that waste. Now I'm down to 1,600. I can also move my IPs here using the Kogo portion of the curve panel down here. I can move that up and down. I just have to move it up a little bit more. So I'm going to move it up to 0.3. Apply. There. I'm getting slowly rid of the, let's just move it to 0.6. 1,441.6. Apply. There. I'm pretty well. I've only got 14.9 cubic yards of waste, which is nothing. Jump back to my second IP, get my default, 40 miles per hour, apply. Set that as my default, jump forward, get my default, apply. Jump forward, get my default, apply. Jump forward, get my default, apply. Okay, so because I've put those curves in, I've got a little bit more volume than I would like. I'm just going to get rid of some of this borrow here and try to balance it from the beginning. Since I've created that little bit of waste there, I'm going to pull up a bit more. Try to balance that out. I think you guys got a pretty good idea of how to do your vertical design. If there's any questions, I'm just reminding you, don't hesitate to ask your questions. We got 366 cubic yards of waste. One more thing I'd like to show you before I go into output is you can calculate the cost of the road. The design of this design is going to cost it's only a short road. It's only about 4,500 feet long. It's going to cost around $194,000. Total cost, cut cost, fill cost, hauling costs, and loading costs all together. The cut costs alone are on $141,000. Fill costs are $45,000. Hauling costs are $7,510. And where do we get those costs from? We get it from a table that we have here. I've got this common material called overburden. You can call it whatever you want. It's $12 for cut per cubic yard, $4 per cubic yard for fill, $8 to haul free haul, $4 to haul overhaul, and $2 to haul end haul. And then loading end haul would be $2.60 per yard, cubic yard, and 60 cents to load overhaul. $0, of course, to load free haul because you're just pushing the earth around. That's the cost calculation. Let's try to balance this out a bit better. Pull this down, get rid of some of that. Pull this up, get rid of some of that waste. Got a little bit too much waste now. I think I'll leave it there. I think you guys got the idea. Let's go on to output. How do you create output sheets in our software? Well, we got something new in version 8, which is our multi-plot report builder and output sheet builder. Let me just get my multi-plot page, which is down here. close all of these other windows. I'm going to start by creating a plan and a profile. Change this name, rename chapter. Everything is based on books and chapters in our software now, so you can do all in one. I'm going to do plan over profile chapter. And then next step is to add one of your components. I'm going to add a plan. Before I add the plan, I'm going to put in a grid just so I can snap to that grid. Change my grid. Since we're working imperial, I'm going to change my grid to 0.25 of an inch. Snap to grid lines. There's my grid right there, those little dots. Snap to it. Change my scale to 1200. That's 1 inch equals 100 feet. So 1 inch equals 1200 inches. Scroll my subview down. Shift arrows to scroll it down. Make my page a little bit smaller. Okay, so just keep in mind that you have to do everything at the chapter level. If you decide to move things around at the page level, you'll get a little tag appearing here telling you that you should be doing everything at the chapter level. Let me just make that a little bit smaller. I can add my profile, multi-plot, new subview, profile. Put my profile right underneath my plan. Make it a little bit larger. Make sure it lines up nicely with the plan. Get rid of my mass haul diagram. So double click on the profile to get rid of that mass haul diagram. Remove it. Just don't need it in my output. Let me change my scale, which is going to be right. It's 120 for the vertical, 1200 for the horizontal, 10:1 exaggeration. Make sure everything lines up nicely. How do you do that? Pagination. I'm going to do a fixed interval of 800 feet per page. That'll give me 6 pages of plan profile sheets. And I'm going to put an offset of negative 100 feet. So I can start off the edge of the page a little bit. There. See, that's moved over the edge of the page. Let me reset my scrolling for this page. Reset all pages, just so that it scrolls nicely with the auto scroll. Reset all pages. There. So you can see it's now lining up with the start. Scrolling quite nicely. Still have 6 pages. I'm going to add another portion of this multi-plot page. Add new section, output sections. I'm going to, you can see that this output section screen has sections plus mass haul information down here. I'm going to change my layout of my sections so that they're, make sure that I almost made a mistake that I said that I shouldn't be. Make sure that you're working at the chapter level. So this is a whole new chapter. Go back to my subview, layout, and make it a 2x2, and show me 100-foot sections and turn off those labels. Yeah, because they're always in my way. And actually 2x2 is not gonna fit on the page. Let me do 2 rows and 1 column right over here. 2 rows, 1 column. That's better. So now everything fits nicely. And I have to change my pagination for my use section. Yes, exactly. That's what I want to see. Page 7, page 8. Get a lot of pages if you see I have 29 pages of cross sections. And you'll only see the volumes for that particular page. So if you go to a previous page, you'll see the volumes change. If you go down to page 20, for instance, there's the volume for page 20, those 2 sections. There's the volume for page 26. There's the volume for page 29, so on and so forth. You guys got the idea. And we've also got a page counter here. If you don't like the fact that it says page, you can change that now to sheet. Let me just make sure that I'm doing it at the sheet of X of n now. I can copy this and put it onto my plant profile sheet, paste it in. There we go. Now we got our output pages on our page counter, sheet counter on the plant profile chapter. So we're going from page 1 of 29, page 2 of 29, page 3 of 29, page 4 of 29, page 5. And you can also add other chapters, title block chapters if you want to. Not going to do that. You guys got the idea. If you guys need any specifics, you can always call us with help about how to do chapters and how to do output in our software. That's where I'm going to leave it for today. Thank you very much, and hopefully you guys had a good time in this webinar today. And join us for those other webinars that are coming up in the next couple weeks. Like I said, we're having one on June 7th, one on June 22nd, one on July 12th, and then there'll be other webinars in the future. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have a good day.